get you guys up to speed there, 93% of the players participated in the vote. So 93% of players in the WNBA. And how many is that? Could we do the math? I believe that there's 166 WNBA players times 0.93. Is that right? So 154 players voted.
The WNBA just authorized a strike. 93% of players voted yes. Only 3 voted no. And strangely, nobody is talking about those 3. The league announced the numbers like a victory lap. Headlines screamed unity and solidarity. Social media celebrated it as a historic moment. Players reposted graphics. Fans applauded what looked like strength. But pause for a second. Look closer. This vote happened in the off-season. There are no games, no practices, no paychecks being issued right now. So what exactly are players striking from? Their couches. That is the uncomfortable truth nobody wants to say out loud. A strike is only powerful when labor is being withheld, when games are canceled, when revenue stops flowing. Right now, nothing is flowing anyway. This is the equivalent of threatening to quit a job you are not currently working. That does not mean players are wrong for wanting more money. That does not mean the league is right. But strategy matters, timing matters, and leverage matters most of all. The WNBA Players Association framed this as a show of strength. But behind the scenes, league executives saw something else entirely. A bluff. Because a strike without leverage is not a weapon. It is a headline. And the league knows the difference. While everyone focused on the overwhelming yes votes, the most interesting detail was buried quietly. 3 players voted no. 3 players looked at the same situation and said, "This does not feel right." Those 3 votes might end up being the most important ones in this entire story. The strike is not about emotion. It is about pressure. Historically, strikes work when they interrupt money, when games stop, when television contracts are violated, when sponsors panic because their product disappears. None of that is happening right now. There is no season, no ticket sales, no broadcast schedule to disrupt, no immediate financial pain for the league. That is why this authorization feels less like a labor move and more like a public relations play. It is designed to win the narrative, not the negotiation. And that is dangerous. Because the league can wait. The NBA backs the WNBA financially. It has weathered losses before. It can survive a year of silence if it has to. Players cannot. Missing a season does not just mean missing a paycheck. It means losing visibility, losing momentum, losing relevance. In sports, momentum is everything. This league finally had mainstream attention. Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, packed arenas, viral highlights, corporate interest. And now the headline is not basketball. It is a labor conflict. Casual fans do not understand revenue-sharing models. They do not care about CBA language. They care about one thing. Are there games to watch or not? If the answer becomes no, many of them will not come back. That is the leverage problem the union is ignoring. A strike only works if the other side needs you more than you need them. Right now, that is not true. And the league knows it. Let's talk about the 3 players who voted no. We do not know their names. But we can make an educated guess about who they are not. They are not superstars. They are not players with 7-figure endorsement deals. They are not owners of alternative leagues. They are not protected by overseas contracts and brand money. They are likely middle-tier or lower-tier players. Bench players. Role players. Players who rely entirely on their WNBA salary. Those players understand something others do not. If there is a lockout or strike, they suffer first and hardest. Stars will be fine. They always are. They have money, visibility, backup plans. But player number 9 on the roster does not. For her, a lost season could mean the end of a career. No tape, no exposure, no chance to prove she belongs. Those 3 no votes represent fear, not weakness. Realism, not betrayal. They are the ones quietly asking the question nobody else wants to. What happens to us if this goes wrong? In labor disputes, unity looks powerful. But blind unity can be dangerous. Especially when the risks are not shared equally. The loudest voices are often the most insulated. The quiet ones are usually the most vulnerable. And those 3 players knew exactly what they were voting against. Now we reach the most uncomfortable part of this story. Conflict of interest. Some of the players leading negotiations are also owners or partners in alternative basketball leagues. Unrivaled. Project B. That matters. Because if the WNBA season does not happen, where do fans go? They go to the only games available. Those leagues benefit directly from WNBA instability. That does not automatically mean bad intentions. But the optics are terrible. It is like restaurant owners negotiating the closure of their competition while claiming neutrality. Fans notice this. Sponsors notice this. The league definitely notices this. And it raises a question that no one wants to answer honestly. Are all players fighting for the same outcome? Or are some players protected regardless of what happens? When leadership positions overlap with competing business interests, trust erodes. Even if everything is above board. This is not about accusations. It is about perception. And perception matters more than facts in public disputes. Right now the union looks powerful. But it also looks divided beneath the surface. And that weakens their position more than they realize. Here is the harsh truth that nobody wants to say out loud. Fans do not follow fractured basketball. They never have and they never will. Casual viewers already struggle to understand where and how to watch women's basketball. They rely on familiar networks, simple schedules, and visibility they do not have to hunt for. Once that ease disappears, so do they. This is not speculation. We have seen this play out repeatedly in other industries. When Joe Rogan moved exclusively to Spotify, his reach declined. When Alex Cooper did the same, casual listeners vanished. These were massive brands with loyal audiences, yet even they could not force everyday consumers to change habits. Accessibility matters more than ideology. Women's basketball is still building its ecosystem. It does not yet have the luxury of fragmentation. The WNBA provides infrastructure, media partnerships, marketing pipelines, and cultural legitimacy that cannot be replicated overnight. Alternative leagues may have funding and star power, but they do not have reach. They do not have habit. They do not have history. If the WNBA season disappears, fans will not migrate elsewhere out of loyalty. They will simply move on. Sports fans are not activists. They are consumers of entertainment. When the product is unavailable or inconvenient, they replace it with something else. Once that replacement becomes routine, getting those fans back becomes exponentially harder. This league just experienced its biggest growth year in history. That momentum is fragile. It depends on consistency, not disruption. Threatening the season is not a power move. It is a gamble with the very audience that was finally paying attention. And the uncomfortable reality is this. The people most excited about the strike are not the ones who will suffer the consequences if it fails. Casual fans will not wait. They will not follow. They will disappear. The league's response to the strike authorization was notably calm. There were no emotional statements, no inflammatory language, no public grandstanding. Instead, they accused the union of misrepresenting negotiations and laid out what they claimed was a serious offer. Immediate salary increases combined with an uncapped revenue-sharing model. That word matters. Uncapped. It means no ceiling. As revenue grows, player compensation grows automatically. Not renegotiated. Not delayed. Not capped by artificial limits. That is a structural change, not a cosmetic one. And it fundamentally alters the long-term earning potential for players. The union dismissed this as a slap in the face. The league framed it as historic progress. The truth likely lives somewhere between those two positions. But perception matters just as much as substance, especially in negotiations played out in public. Notice the contrast in messaging. The league has been measured, controlled, and professional. The union has been emotional, confrontational, and publicly aggressive. That difference affects how neutral observers interpret the situation. Fans who do not live in CBA language gravitate toward whoever sounds more stable. This is not about morality. It is about optics. In negotiations, optics create leverage. Right now, the union is bleeding credibility with casual fans who do not understand why progress is being framed as insult. When rhetoric escalates faster than evidence, trust erodes. That erosion matters. Because when the public stops believing one side, pressure shifts. And pressure is the currency that decides outcomes long before contracts are signed. Caitlin Clark said something remarkably simple. She wants a deal. And she wants to play basketball. That was it. No denunciations. No threats. No union bashing. Just a recognition that missing a season would hurt everyone involved. For that, she was attacked online. This reaction says more about the current discourse than it does about Clark. In today's climate, realism is often treated as betrayal. Any deviation from the loudest narrative is framed as weakness or disloyalty. But Clark understands something fundamental about sports. Visibility creates value. Absence destroys it. She understands what a missed season would do to momentum, to fan engagement, to sponsorship interest, and to the fragile gains the league has finally made. Neka Aguamike understands this too. Wanting basketball to exist is not anti-labor. It is basic economic reality. The problem is that common sense does not trend well. Outrage does. Simplified narratives do. Nuance does not survive on social media, especially when unity is defined as silence rather than agreement. Clark represents the future of the league's marketability. Her value is directly tied to playing games, not sitting out seasons. When players like her speak cautiously, it is not because they oppose progress. It is because they recognize risk. And that risk is not abstract. It is measurable. Missed games mean lost fans. Lost fans mean lost revenue. Lost revenue means reduced leverage. Reality does not bend to slogans. Ignoring that reality does not make it disappear. It just delays the consequences. Here is the ending most people do not want to acknowledge. A deal will get done. It almost always does. Not the 30% revenue split the union keeps demanding. The league is not conceding that. But salaries will increase, likely more than many expect. Both sides will claim victory. Press releases will frame it as a win for progress. Social media will move on. And on the surface, it will look like a successful standoff. But damage does not disappear just because an agreement is signed. Trust has already been shaken. Fans have grown tired of public fighting. Media narratives have shifted from growth to instability. That change lingers. Momentum, once slowed, does not automatically restart at the same speed. Negotiations do not exist in a vacuum. They shape perception. And perception shapes long-term engagement. Casual fans do not separate labor disputes from the product. They associate drama with inconvenience. And inconvenience pushes them away. The league needed this moment to solidify gains. To normalize viewership. To turn curiosity into habit. Instead, uncertainty has taken center stage. Even if a deal is reached, the opportunity cost remains. Lost enthusiasm. Distracted audiences. Sponsors watching carefully instead of investing boldly. These effects compound quietly. No one will announce that the damage occurred. There will be no headline declaring momentum lost. It simply fades, replaced by whatever captures attention next. That is the risk of playing brinkmanship during a growth window. You may win the argument and still lose the moment. If this dispute drags on, if January 9th passes without resolution, the damage escalates quickly. Casual fans do not track deadlines. They just notice silence. Sponsors notice uncertainty. Media outlets shift coverage elsewhere. Momentum in sports is everything. Growth windows open briefly and close without warning. This league finally had mainstream attention. Viewership numbers were climbing. Advertisers were paying attention. Cultural relevance was real. You protect moments like that. You do not gamble them. A prolonged standoff risks resetting perception back to instability, back to niche status, back to uncertainty. That setback would not be measured in months. It would be measured in years. The league can survive a missed season. It has backing. Infrastructure. Top. Players do not have the same insulation. Careers are short. Windows close. Exposure matters. But beyond individual consequences, the sport itself suffers. Lost seasons create gaps in narrative continuity. Fans disengage. Habits break. Once broken, habits are hard to rebuild. This is not about who deserves what. It is about timing. About understanding when leverage exists and when it does not. About recognizing that momentum is an asset as valuable as any revenue split. Lose it and no contract clause can bring it back. So here is the question that actually matters. Is holding out worth risking the season? Is chasing perfect worth losing good? Because leverage is not defined by what you demand. It is defined by what the other side fears losing. Right now, both sides believe they hold the cards. Only one of them is correct. The league believes it can wait. It believes fans will return. It believes alternative leagues cannot replace its infrastructure. The players believe momentum gives them power. They believe public support will force concessions. One of these assumptions will be proven wrong. History suggests that fractured products lose audiences faster than institutions lose patience. Fans are not ideologues. They are consumers of entertainment. When entertainment disappears, loyalty fades. The future of women's basketball hinges on recognizing that reality before it becomes irreversible. Compromise is not surrender. It is strategy. Progress does not require burning the foundation you are standing on. Those 3 players who voted no understand that. They understand risk. They understand that sometimes winning means knowing when to take the deal and keep the game alive. The stakes are higher than percentages and press releases. This is about protecting the sport during its most important moment of growth. The question is not who is right. The question is who realizes first that leverage fades faster than pride. Because once the fans leave, they do not come back just because you finally won the argument.
Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more dives into Hollywood's hidden history.